from a Mickey Mouse ass championship run to the comeback and then eventual downfall that nobody really expected or wanted to see, the NBA and NHL finals have finally drawn to a close, and we get to give our reactions. I think we start with the NBA, and I think we can keep this one pretty short. Fuck the Celtics.
Fuck the Celtics.
Fuck the Celtics.
Mickey Mouse ass run. Nobody wanted to see it. Luka and Kyrie crumbled. There's not really much else to say.
Tingus Pingus guy's revenge.
I wanted to see Tingus Pingus. That's the only Celtic I'm happy for. Yeah, that's tough. Like, Mavs fucking only win one game, and every game they lose, they couldn't crack 100 points. Kyrie falling off the face of the earth, although his stats don't indicate he played poorly. Just kind of wasn't it. Yeah.
Him.
I propose a petition that we just banish Jason Tatum off the face of the planet. Can I get backers on that one?
I
second that
Cool.
motion.
Great. Well, then there's no reason to stick on this topic any longer. Let's move on to the NHL.
Yeah, get it, hockey man. Get it, hockey man.
You talk your shit. Talk your
What
shit.
the sweet fuck even happened? What?
An almost
What?
choke job.
The
That's
comeback
what
that
happened.
wasn't.
The Florida Panthers, who were chasing their first cup in franchise history, go up 3-0, make to the two best players on planet Earth look like morons. And then somehow it gets drawn to a game 7. As an avid Florida hater, I loved it. I loved watching this team just crumble on the ice and give the Edmonton Oilers a shot to win in game 7. As a hockey realist, you cannot let the Edmonton Oilers win 3 games in a row. One of them being in Florida, and not expect them to give you everything they've got in game 7. You can't. They were so casual. The Panthers were so casual and still won it somehow. It's just, I think the Achilles heel for the Edmonton Oilers was the depth disappearing and Connor McDavid having to put the team in a backpack and carry them up the mountain.
Put the team on my back, though.
Yeah, they had to carry. McDavid was trying to seek redemption and had to carry Madame Zeroni to the mountain and make her drink.
I got an allegory for this. Not an
Oh, yeah?
allegory. I don't know what it's called. McJesus, they nailed him to the cross and they went down 3-0. But he was resurrected and then nailed back to the cross.
And then he fell down because he didn't take enough time to rest. I feel bad because McDavid was single-handedly winning that series for Edmonton. I shouldn't say single-handedly. After Game 3, Stuart Skinner looked like an absolute stud. I don't know what it is with that guy and being like, oh, we could get eliminated tonight? Time to play goalie. Like, I don't know what his obsession with that is. But
Homie found the cork for the big ass hole in his chest.
Fucking right, Jesus. Brother had a V8. Sergei Bobrovsky throughout the entirety of the finals looked decent. Games 1, 2, and 3, you'd have thought he was God. You'd have thought he was using the force to actively keep the puck out of the net. Pretty sure there was a point after game 2 where he had like a 984 save percentage. That's fucking dumb. That's dumb. You can't. You go up against a goalie with a 984. What is your expectation? Getting sent home? Sad. Just this series had absolutely no right to be as exciting as it was with the start that it had. And Florida still pulls it out. And I was against Florida the entire playoff lead up, the entire way through our bracket review, through our playoff reviews, through each series. And I will be the first to say, I was not nearly as upset as I thought I'd be about the Panthers winning it. Yeah, Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Bennett both lifting the cup is a horrible thing to see. But it made me realize how many solid dudes there are on this roster. Vladimir Tarasenko getting his second cup. Kyle Okposo having the most active games played without a Stanley Cup finally gets one after being shipped out from the terrible Islanders team in 2016, going to the terrible Sabres team, and then ended up in Buffalo as like, or ended up in Florida from Buffalo as like just a move to get the Sabres cap space. Like it's been a road for the guy, and I think that's really cool. Sergei Bob finally getting one. I feel like he was never really taken seriously as one of the best goalies in the league, even after the giant contract that Florida gave him. There were a decent amount of guys to root for on this team, but I think the piece de resistance is for the fifth time in NHL history, only the second time by a skater, Connor McDavid on the losing team winning playoff MVP. And you can't really argue it because the guy had the fourth best playoff in NHL history. The only two dudes who recorded more points than him in a playoff run are Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. Like, brother is in a distinguished company. You can't you can't argue it. Yeah, it could have gone to Barkov. He shut down McDavid for the first 3 games of the series and then did a really good job in game 7. Where was he 4, 5, and 6? You could have given it to Bobrovsky for kind of the same reasons, but again, 4, 5, 6, he looked like a fucking tool. Connor McDavid winning it, and I don't think him winning it's the controversial part. I think fans are upset that he didn't come back onto the ice to get the trophy and leave. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on that.
I
mean,
probably would have done the same
Yeah,
thing.
you're
if I
you're
was him.
down
done the same.
3-0. You tie it up at 3-3, and you lose in a game 7. I don't blame him.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think
I
people are
see
taking it way too fucking serious.
I see it as more of a locker room move. Like, I don't give a shit about this personal accolade.
So
Like, I would rather have won the fucking cup and that than that.
exactly. It's like a consolation prize at that point. And at that point, you
Yeah.
don't fucking want it.
No.
McDavid's body language, like you could tell after the loss, the Oilers go through the handshake line. They all meander into the locker room. And you can tell an executive is in McDavid's ear and he's like, hey, you should probably stay. They're giving you the Conn Smythe. And he stands by the bench, staring out into the crowd, just absolutely defeated, giving everybody handshakes and hugs on their way to the locker room. He's the last Edmonton Oiler off the ice by a good 30, 45 seconds. And he's sitting there contemplating it. And he finally turns toward the room and he's like, yeah, this ain't it. They can fucking have it. I don't want it. And I respect the shit out of that. Because no matter what, McDavid was going to get clowned. You either get clowned by Florida fans because you don't go and claim the trophy, or you get clowned by the rest of the league, a la 2003 J.S. Jaguar winning it as the losing team's goalie, and that picture of you depressed as shit holding the Conn Smythe stays viral for a decade. Like, there was no winning that scenario for McDavid, and I think he made the right move. You can have your name on the Conn Smythe, fuck it. Go put it somewhere else. You don't need a picture of me with it.
Plus, I mean, if he wins the cup, he's almost guaranteed to get the Conn Smythe again. So
Oh, absolutely.
he's
I mean,
he's planning on getting that shit again.
yeah.
I mean,
And little sneak preview towards our free agency episode. I think with the moves Edmonton made in the last couple days, they've got a really good chance to go to the final 2 years in a row.
you gotta. He put up 8 points in those last 3 games to tie it up. I'd be pissed too.
I mean, technically, he put up 8 points in 2 games because all 8 of those points came in games 4 and 5.
It
And
was,
then
it was in the comeback sweep, though. It was in the comeback sweep. It was in the comeback
for
sweep.
sure. In Game 6, they did a really good job of shutting McDavid down, a la put him on the ice with Barkov and three-man cover him. And in Game 7,
Leave everyone up,
he
though.
was just out of gas. Like, what do you want from the guy? Yes, he's the best player in the world. He cannot carry an entire team 4 games against the Panthers. I talk shit about them. They're one of the best built teams in the NHL. The depth, the tenacity, the talent all around, player types being paired together to get optimal performance on each line. Like that, Bill Zito, Panthers president, needs a fucking accolade for putting this team together because they are so thoroughly thought out and so well built. You have Tarasenko, a guy who is in the top 6 of any team in the league, playing third line with Anton Lundell because he feels like it. That is stupid. That's it. I don't like the fact that I'm not upset about the Panthers winning it. But I mean, they're kind of going towards building a dynasty. And that's the part that scares me.
Fuck a dynasty.
That's a big word to be tossing around.
2 straight finals, and they kept most of their core. The only player they lost was Brandon Montour. They could most likely do it again. Multiple times over. Every player on that team now has term. They're on. I don't think they have a big player expiring for the next 3 seasons.
And that's what happens. It's because the salary cap is about to get inflated. That's kind of some of the benefits that can happen from it. I mean, look at Golden State and what they did after. That's how they were able to get Kevin Durant onto the roster.
For sure. Going into this next season, the salary cap finally went up from like 82 to 88 million. It's the biggest jump it's had in like a decade. And then next year, it's expected to go up again another 4 million to 92. There's going to be some big contracts getting thrown around for expiring superstars. There's going to be a lot more, I'd say, depth on contenders because you can't you won't have to worry about how much a player on your third line is making. If you make a move at the deadline, there's a guy on your third line making 7.5 million as a rental. You're like, that's not too bad. In past years, he's either playing first line for 7.5 million or you're not acquiring him. Like, there's a lot to look forward to in these next couple of years for the NHL because players can actually start getting paid again. Teams can actually afford to pay these players again. It's going to be a fun time. The NHL is going to be really fun to watch here in the next couple seasons.
The age of the super team is upon us.
Yeah, no fucking kidding. I feel like that about wraps it up. Obviously, spent a lot more time on the NHL side of things than the NBA side of things, but fuck, there was way more to talk about because the NBA was just
More
kind of
entertaining
sad.
series.
Yeah, for sure.
More entertaining playoff in general.
Dude, it's the only time I can get these boys together to watch a full hockey game and be engaged the entire time. It's a great time.
We're engaged for Red Wings games.
Yes, for Red Wings games. This is the first game I've gotten anybody to watch where the Red Wings weren't included, that we were all on the edge of our seat.
Whoa. Don't forget the NCAA tournament. We were on our edge of the seats for
Okay.
those games.
Fair point. I was only thinking NHL. Fair point. No, I think that's gonna wrap it up. Anybody want to give a little prediction on who's going to the finals next year?
Detroit.
Pistons,
Hockey Town.
and Red
Hockey Town.
Wings. Doesn't matter against who.
The Stanley Cup final will be the Detroit Red Wings against the Colorado Avalanche.
We bring in Hockey Town. back its rightful
We're gonna sign Darren
ownership.
McCarty to a 1-day contract just so he can punch.
Darren McCarty signed to the fourth line so he can go out and punch Nathan McKinnon straight in the gullet.
Swagger. All right.
Yep,
See
that'll
ya.
wrap it up for us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we will see you next time.
Yer.